Here we go, got car completed. Getting ready to go to Chicago. I just want to do a quick checkout before we ship it back because the car needs a little bit more than just the motor. If you can tell right here, the rotors are all rusted. We actually had to pull pads out of this one because the caliper is completely locked. Coming over here, motor transmission looks great. But if we move over here and look at the oil lines, we got some leaks. It's leaking at the crimps. Up here and right here. So here, just sitting here, you can see the oil. That's what that is, and because the crimp is leaking. Come over here, this is all oily. This hose here is leaking at the crimp. This one here, these aren't too bad over here. We probably could still use those, but over here, this small hose here, if you can see it, it's leaking. Okay, at the crimp, it's just old and tired. Pipe coming over here is not too bad, but again, this smaller hose here, it's leaking. Remember, oil leak, you'll lose oil pressure. These brakes are, again, it's hard to tell because of the light. We kind of try to block a little bit of the light to show. It's completely rusted and cupped. And then the calipers are so bad that the seals are coming apart and they won't hold oil. So we drove it down the driveway. Runs great. Just make sure the transmission, all that's good. I use an emergency brake, but this car has no brakes. Come over here, move to the front. Some cobwebs, you know, she's just an old Porsche 72. They call that the goofy oil tank. Again, you can tell the brakes are pretty old. They're just rusted. They need to be gone through. So this car does need brakes all the way around. Pads, rotors, and bearings don't feel too bad, but you have it off. Probably the bearings are pretty shot. A little bit of suspension, you know, tire boots blown out. But definitely needs brakes. Calipers, rotors, pads. I wouldn't trust the hoses on the brakes for safety reasons. And definitely needs oil lines. If one of these oil lines lets go or starts losing too much oil pressure or oil itself, you're going to damage either the motor, but with Sportomatics, also the tranny. So this needs to be looked at before we ship it all the way back to Chicago or take care of it at home. Either way. Thanks.